care should be taken not to scratch the tube against the bottom of the Procharger or the frame rail. Yeah, that didn't last long.
This my shit. Oh, tell her you're not my bitch. This my shit. Oh, tell her get off my dick. Digi dash, nitro gas, time is passing, quick. I just want tonight to last. Life go fast, it tick.
What's going on, guys? It is about 6:30 in the evening right now, and sadly it's probably already dark outside. Wow, I was right. We're headed to the garage right now. This is gonna be day 2 of the install for the Procharger kit on Zoe. We still have a few things to install. I still got the fuel pump to install, injectors. I gotta make sure the injectors work. Yeah, it's gonna be a handful, but every evening I'm gonna be going to the garage and trying to knock it out a few hours at a time. And we're gonna see if we can get it done for this weekend. This weekend is autocross, so if Zoe doesn't get done, then I'm gonna be taking payday. So hopefully this works out. I'm not afraid to take this car. It's just probably gonna be interesting if I do. Well, it's gonna be interesting if I take either car. Both of them are pretty fun to drive. Oh, that exhaust needs to get here. So here's where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we stopped, or I guess I called it quits, because we were having trouble putting the Procharger on the actual car. Mounting it up to the bracket right here, it just didn't fit, and I couldn't figure out why it didn't fit, and I thought that it was actually because this part of the car was bent. So because it was already a tight fit, the Procharger just wouldn't sit right and wouldn't let me bolt it up. But actually what I discovered was that the Procharger itself was not clocked properly. So these are actually, it's basically like a 2-piece assembly. You have the turbine and the housing, and then you have the gear set, which is right here. These bolts right here are what holds it together. So the washers actually go over this lip a little bit and hold it down in place and keep it from rotating. That's what these little parts sticking out right here are for. It can't slip past the washers. I had to pretty much just take these bolts out, rotate it about 10 degrees, and then put them back in. Whenever you build a kit for a Procharger, you can rotate this literally any way you want to. You can turn it 180 degrees, whatever else. It just rotates very freely. So now we're just gonna take this, put it on the bracket, and we're gonna get started from here. So the bolts to put the Procharger on are already right here, and we will just go ahead and slap it up into place. Now remember, you do have to put this on before you can put the Procharger on. It says not to tighten any of the bolts, so I'm just gonna put them all hand tight. So you have this bolt that comes in this bag. This is a bolt that you actually take out of the bracket. I don't think you're gonna reuse it because it's too short to use. You're gonna take this spacer, which they provide, put it on here, and then I think it goes through here. It goes on the top. So it actually goes like this. You have to rotate it apparently to get it in. I don't know how that works. Now, I think I got it. I ended up taking it off, and I had to do a lot of test fitting to making sure I was putting it in the right bolt because I already had to reclock it. So now I mounted the bracket that you're supposed to mount once the Procharger is already on. I'm not following the instructions. Let's see if this works. So that goes there. Oh yeah, that just slides right in now. I don't know why they would tell you to do it with the Procharger on the car. That is so difficult. This used to be hitting the frame. It's not hitting the frame anymore, but now there's like a whole lot of gap underneath it. All right, so now everything is hand tight. I guess we'll just move on and see if that's how things are supposed to fit. It says to tighten every single bolt, so let's go ahead and do that. So next up, we have to actually move the solenoid right here. I can't remember, it says IVT. We had to remove this, or at least rotate it to get it out of the way, so that way we can install the next pulley. We'll just crack these loose. Let's get the pulley on. We gotta make sure the key is on. We'll rotate this so the key is facing up. Set it in place. And wow, that slid on perfectly. None of the other ones went on that easily. This is really smart. Honestly, I kind of appreciate this design. Supercharger kits are known for like throwing off belts. So that has to do with twisting, obviously. Yes, it does twist. There is a little bit of movement. But between the main belt right here, all this is solid, And then this, it comes to this belt, which is another cog. That piece is solid. And then that comes to here. That is another belt, which that is solid. So I'm kind of curious to see how it throws a belt, especially whenever there's like so much reinforcement for it not to throw a belt. Like there's huge walls on this idler pulley. This isn't going to be twisting at all. And even this right here, there's actually another wall that goes on the side of this pulley to put the belt on. So I don't know, we'll see. Real interested to see how well this works. So now we get to install the belts. So first you have to actually loosen these bolts to get the pulley to move freely. So those are loose. Is there a fourth one? No, there's just 3. I said to make sure that these bolts were loose. I'm not sure what for. Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one to put on. Wonder if I can walk it on like a chain. Come on. Ooh, get on there. This is tough. Okay, I think I figured it out. I haven't tried it yet, but here, you're supposed to loosen the eccentric bolts down here. I'm assuming this is to adjust the tension in the belt and help you get it on. So I could only rotate it halfway one direction and all the way with the other direction. If you didn't see before, I also only had one of these holes visible. So now that I have 2, what I did to get to this point is I just took all the bolts out, rotated it even more, and then basically just put the bolts back in with it right side up. So now I should be able to rotate all the way that way. Okay, so what if you go all the way the other direction? This is the direction I didn't get to do. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's much closer. I think I can get it on now. Yup, got it. Yeah, boy. Oh, I also have the bolts loose. I forgot to tighten those. I tried loosening the bracket bolts to make it fit, so now those are tight again. And we have the belt on. Ooh, success. Wow, that is interesting. Well, we're getting closer. Oh my good God. That is not even close to fitting. So to do this one, we have this pulley right here. So now, where's my impact? Uh-oh, I might have messed up. That's all the way up. Yeah, it's not gonna go on like that. All right, here's another part that I gotta figure out. Damn it, maybe if I rotate this back. Let's try that. See, because now it's getting tight this way. This is all just a game of guess and try. Stick that under here. So close. I don't know how to do this. This is real hard. I'm probably just gonna have to play with it some. 25 minutes later, after looking at this further to make sure it's all right, I messed up. Wow, look how easy that was. Jesus, I am ignorant. I noticed that this nut was covered up and I needed to tighten it. So I was trying to figure out, how do I do that? I was also trying to figure out why the belt was so tight. Well, turns out I was running this belt underneath this pulley whenever you're supposed to run it on top of the pulley. So yeah, I'm gonna tighten this and continue on. So if you see in the diagram right here, this is where the power steering pulley could be. I could reinstall a power steering pump if I have to, but without having power steering fluid in the car, it's not good for the pump. It's just gonna run dry. Overall, it just would eventually lock up and probably tear up the belt too. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna try and avoid it. So I need to get another belt that is going to be shorter than the current 60-inch belt, so that way I can get rid of this and just go straight from the alternator to the idler. So it's gonna be a little bit tough, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So anyways, we're just gonna move past the belt, and tomorrow I'm gonna go try and find one that fits. I think we're on like day 3. I think this is day 3 of the install, maybe day 4, I'm not 100% sure, I'm kind of losing track of time. It's Wednesday, so it's time to pick back up on this install. But before we get going, some stuff that came in today, pretty cool. We finally got a boost gauge in the car, which I know that I never had a reason to get one in the past, but No, it's just kind of cool that the car is actually getting a boost gauge. I'm just pretty excited for this. I already have a glow shift oil pressure gauge in the car, and honestly, it works great. As you can see, I have it mounted right there with the ADDW1, and this is not wanting to focus. Come on, there we go. As you can see, we have a glow shift oil pressure gauge already, but it's time to add the boost gauge now that we're getting the Procharger installed. Well, there's not much else to talk about, so let's just get into it. So, the first thing we are going to do today is get started with this intercooler piping. The first thing it tells you to do is actually remove the Maf. Wow, that was definitely not planned. Remove the Maf housing. Thankfully, I still have the original intake that came on the car when I bought it, which reuses the stock Maf housing. Using the LMT 4-inch intake, it does not have the Maf housing and actually has a new one built into it. So anyways, with this, we got to get this all separated, and we're going to get it slapped onto this reducer that they provide with the kit. And that one's loose. And if I can reuse these bolts, that would probably also be pretty good. And there we go. I'll just stick that up there. Oh, they give you bolts and washers to use, or bolts and nuts. Okay, well now I gotta find those. And there's the 4 bolts that we need, and I guess we'll just go ahead and slap this up together. So this actually does have like some sort of O-ring in it, but it's so squished that, I mean, it's still kind of there, but it's old. Needs to be replaced. I don't think there's any replacement. Yeah, probably not. Probably just have to deal with it. Worst case, if it leaks, I can stick some RTV on it and we'll deal with it then. All right, let's get these tight. I don't think that's gonna leak, but we'll find out later. Now we can go ahead and put the Maf in, which actually, I didn't mention this before, but I did get some new parts in. We have an UpRev GT mass airflow sensor and a Walbro 255 fuel pump. You pretty much need this. You also pretty much need at least this to run any sort of boost on a car. It's like, if you're gonna make more power than what you can get naturally aspirated, then you might as well go ahead and upgrade your fuel system, because you're gonna need it. So as you see in the picture, they have the reduction right here, mass airflow sensor on the upper side of this. So that is the right side. Well, I guess it can only go one way anyways. Wow, that was dumb of me. Now we gotta take this mass airflow sensor off. Damn, I wish I had some other bolts for this. Now these actually do take some anti-tamper proof bits. So it's actually a little Torx bit with a hole in the middle of it. You'll find these same screws being used in places like your airbag, for example. You have to have anti-tamper proof bits to be able to get the airbag out. So now this is just an extra mass airflow sensor. Sadly, I don't have any more bolts to put in here. But anyways, these bolts are going to be going in here, and I assume there's already a gasket. Yes, there is. All right, let's get this new mass airflow sensor in. But anyways, the reason why you need to get a GT mass airflow sensor is because these can actually read, I think, like 180% more airflow than the OEM ones can. These are directly from UpRev, which is the software that you use to actually tune these Nissans. Getting one of these is pretty necessary. Your tuner will most likely tell you what to get. All right, so now we gotta put this on this and then put this on the throttle body, which is quite interesting. I don't really know which part is which goes where. I don't know which one goes on the throttle body and which one doesn't. This is gonna be real hard to get everything together. This is all pretty tight. Oop. It's close. Get on there. There we go. The hoses and stuff that were cut are not necessarily the most ideal angles that they could have been cut at. Now we take one of these clamps and put it on. That is way too small to be used. I think there's, yeah, 2 bigger clamps. I don't know which clamp you're supposed to use though. I assume this, because this is the biggest part of the entire thing. Maybe. I don't know. This might eventually just need to be used on the actual Procharger itself, which, yep, that's what it looks like. So that will stay there. This one's also the same size. All right, so let's try and get this fit up on there. I got no idea how well this is gonna work, so we'll figure it out. Stick that over there. Stick that over there. Oh, how convenient. I can just kind of like stand right here. Wow, that big throttle body's really hurting me right now. All right, I gotta get a zip tie for this to hold the the harness in place. If I don't, then the harness is going to have a lot of strain on it. Oh dear God, this is gonna be difficult to get on there. I'm gonna have to do this off camera. All right, so we're not even gonna talk about how difficult that was to get on. And I don't think this hose clamp is big enough to go on the throttle body. Oh boy. Oh, there's just so many things that are not working with this kit. And I know none of it's Procharger's fault. Let's see, can I get this any looser? Will that help me? So how am I supposed to do this? Get on there, let's go. Get down on it. Oh my God. There's no way I'm getting that. I'm gonna need to get bigger clamps. So for now, I guess I'll have to run the stock one off of this intake. This is all I can do. This is significantly harder to install than I was expecting. Well, now we have an extra clamp. Woo. Maybe I'll just switch back to a stock throttle body in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Now let's get this on. Forgot I gotta put the clamp on first. Get on there. All right, next we are supposed to just connect this little 2.5 inch pipe right here. It's literally just called a 2.5 inch connector. So we put it on there and then something else comes up to it. So I'll put that up there and I'll leave it loose for now. Next, I think we do a big boy pipe. Insert the throttle body tube E. Which one is E? Connect a 2.5 inch 90-degree rubber connector to the bottom of the Procharger. So this one, it looks like this goes to the bottom of the Procharger. Am I supposed to have more than one of these? Driver's side fender well. Looks like it's got to come up under here. There's no way. So it looks like this goes here. What? I am so confused. Care should be taken not to scratch the tube against the bottom of the Procharger or the frame rail. Yeah, that didn't last long. So I'm discovering something. This is the bracket that goes onto the intercooler. Like this. I think it's like this. Anyways, this is the first bracket that you bolt onto the car to put the intercooler on. As you see right here, it's supposed to be bolted up to something. What it's supposed to be bolted up to is actually the hood latch. This car has a carbon fiber hood and a lot of weight reduction. I don't have anything up here that we're supposed to bolt this to. Yeah, as you can see, dang, none of this looks the same. I think it's supposed to go there. Yeah, it's supposed to go through this hole right here up against the hood latch, or it screws into the hood latch. It's a bolt that you're supposed to take out, put this in and put it back, which this all looks fine. But now I gotta get a bolt and a nut for that. And I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of other stuff as it's already looking like I'm gonna run into. It's gonna be a while of me just mixing and matching parts, trying to get this kit to work. And I can get it to work. I'm definitely gonna get this kit to work. Avalon King, I owe it to you. Even though this is gonna be a bitch and a half, like the fact that you're supporting me and you're the reason that this is here is enough for me to make this shit work. Like, I hope you guys are ready for this, because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film or how soon I'll be able to get this done. But god damn it, whenever it's done, this thing is going to be awesome. I guess I'll look forward a little bit more and we'll see if I can do anything else. So far, I need a nut and bolt to fit through there. I would just have to find one. All right, so have an idea. Because of the issues I'm running into, this does not sit high enough, which we can shove that up a little bit more. If you push it all the way forward, it hits the bottom of the supercharger, but it doesn't hit the belt, which is good. And if you push it forward, it'll clear the wheel, or at least it's gonna be real damn close. So what we're gonna do, I am going to just simply, for the sake of fitment, and because I might be doing it again in the future, I'm gonna zip tie this pipe to the supercharger. Now, I could very easily just leave those. It gives it plenty of room. It lets it hang back. It gives me room to turn the wheel. All this shit's gonna be real close, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so this is how all of this will potentially go. Well, that's some pretty awkward fitment so far, but I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it. This is pretty cool. The next step is to, what did it say about this? We shall hang this. Wow, I definitely just dropped that. This is a little bit harder to do than I expected. I feel like that's all I've said this video. This is harder than I expected. This is harder than I expected. Hey, this is harder than I expected. I don't really remember what the last thing I recorded was, but I got the intercooler on and I did test fit some of the pipes. We're getting closer. Things are looking better than they were earlier. The only thing now that I'm running into as an issue is the fact that I'm missing one hose. There's a 45-degree angle hose that needs to go right here. For some reason I can't find it. I don't know if I lost it. I don't know if I don't have it. Not 100% sure. At the moment, I'm just thinking that I don't have it and that I was one short. So I'll probably just pick one up from Advanced or do something. It should be simple. I think this is the stopping point for tonight. We got the intercooler on. It's bolted up to the bottom. It still needs to be tightened, but it's hanging in place where it's gonna go. The hoses are mocked up, everything else. Things are looking promising. But yeah, I think that's about it for tonight. In the future, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the oil cooler. I think I am probably going to end up just cutting out this center section right here, cutting it like right here and further down underneath here, if you can see that. And I'm probably gonna mount the intercooler in the place of this because there's nowhere for it to go on the left or right side of the radiator support, I guess. So we'll just have to play around with it and see what we can do. So yeah. I guess that's it for now. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Got the lotion. Ooh, I don't wanna talk, this ain't no negotiation. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm not interested in procreation. I am not your big bro, fam. We got no relation. If you not on this side, then you guilty.